Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today's video is a debate between me and a friend of mine, Nyotic, also known as Nyotic the Hero. Let's get him to 100 subscribers. Links to his channel will be here right now, and another link can be found in the description of the video and at the end of the video. Also, thanks to Bjerman for recording this for us. His channel will also be in the description. So the topic of this debate is me using SCP-3002. Nyotic is using Shazam from DC Comics. The rules of the debate are as follows. And with that, let's get started.
Ready? Alright. So my premise will be Shazam's just going to use his magical abilities to gain the victory. Like he's just going to use all of the hacks and whatever he needs to be able to win this fight.
Okay, so my premise will be there isn't a single thing Shazam can do to affect my character. That, combined with my character's singular hacks, will win the battle.
Alright, so I guess I'll go. Well, I already know that your character has no AP, speed, etc. So
I mean, it's multi-plus, right? You can argue no AP and we can have equal AP, but
nah, I can't do that. That means a blow in the wind would kill Shazam. So So I'm just gonna just post a singular scan of Shazam breaking a building. I'll scale Shazam's physical AP to building level. If I can find it. It asks for speed. I'll just show a scan of Shazam flying, and just say I'll just presuppose that he's flying at average speeds, average human speeds.
Wait, so what?
I know humans don't fly, but I'm gonna equate his flying speed to a normal human running. If that makes sense.
Why? May I ask why?
Just so he can actually walk and dink and stuff. So he's just not standing there with no speed, or not even comprehending what's happening.
Here's a question though, right? So
yeah.
In your scan of him flying, do we know he's moving at all, or is it just him floating? Because you can float without going anywhere.
Yeah, well, I posted the scan. He's moving right there. So he moved from the bottom of the building, well, not the bottom of it, but he moved from the middle of the building to the top where he punched this goon.
Bro. By the way, where's your building level AP food?
He punched. Well, I'm not going to scale him the building anymore. I'm going to scale him the small building. He's the size of a small building.
Is he?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, look at his height and relative to the car. I would say that's small building.
So if I asked you in meters, how tall do you think this guy is? How tall do you think he is?
A couple feet, not a couple feet, a couple of cans. Look, I'm not putting much dot into this. I'm gonna just say that Shazam is just peak human. He's peak human for punching this guy like this, right?
All right.
I don't think that's too big of an assumption.
I mean, that's true. He
Floyd. Shazam's just Floyd Mayweather in pure physical strength. This is without I should clarify. This is without him adding on things lightning or his magical abilities. It's just him physically.
Yeah, okay. So my character's AP, as you already established, and I will agree with it, is he doesn't have any AP, as well as her speed is always equal to your speed as an information hazard, which I'll provide scan of information hazard to clarify.
Okay.
Where's all these many scans? There we go. First line. Class X info hazard. And in case you're wondering what that means, a Class X, it literally says in brackets afterwards, extreme danger. There you
go. The Class X is what? You cut out for me?
Oh, in brackets it classifies what it meant. It just says extreme danger.
Oh, okay.
That's not vague.
All right. Mimic safety procedures. Okay. So what is this scan for again?
So, okay.
Ouch.
I'll discuss how it plays in on when we get to like win cons, okay? Because at the moment,
Okay.
like it won't matter as much. So as carry on with like you going first with your win con.
All right, what, me to go first?
Yeah.
No, I think it would honestly better if you were to go first.
Okay then. So, do you know what an information hazard is?
Basically anything that's like information that's like hazardous to you, like that, right? Like it's just
Yeah. So
dangerous
it's
information.
it's something that's dangerous to inherently like be around and know. So because of such, um, in this battle, it would be effective as long as my character exists. That's the information, right? My character is the information itself. They are the info hazard.
Okay.
Yeah. And what this info hazard does is it will permanently, for as long as it exists, it will just spam memory hacks on you. And this memory hacks rewrites all your like, or it rewrites all of your past memories to do whatever she wants them to. I'll just
Okay.
get a description that just says that outright, so you know, nice and easy.
All right.
Bang. That's the version 1 description, and I'll get the. Wait, is version 2 much longer? I really hope not. It's
All right. So do I have to read all of this, or like only a specific paragraph?
no. So if you just use the first paragraph, because the rest of it is just iterating how it's been used,
Mm-hmm.
which is
All right.
basically just how they found out about it in the first place, because they don't even know all accounts of it. It can be kind of hard to track all cases of an info hazard because you don't know what everyone else knows.
All right. The anomaly plus a memory within a subject's mind. Okay.
Yeah. So, like an example of how this can beat your character is if Shazam doesn't know that if the memory of your character has changed, so that I don't know, you think the only way to survive is rip out your own heart because you think you're poisoned because that's what your memory tells you, then you just kill yourself. Or really any
Okay.
form that could result in Shazam losing like that. It could also be like a forfeit. They realize that fighting's a bad thing, even though it's just a memory hack.
All right. So like she's going to be in my memories, correct?
It's memory rewriting.
So she's not in my head. She's just like controlling me from outside, or is she like inside?
So it's the information that does it. So this information hazard, it will
Mm-hmm.
rewrite your memories accordingly to the way she wants them to, and that will end up in these circumstances. It's a bit
No,
odd for me to
I'm
say
saying
this.
that like no, I'm asking like, all right, so like, is she like, for example, yes, ma'am, I have, um, dang, I lost track of what I was about to say. I was about to say, is she like, all right, so she's information, correct?
Yeah, she is this info hazard.
All right.
Yes.
So would she be like, since I'm like taking in this information, she would be inside of my head, inside my memories, right? And she would be like trying to rewrite, right?
So information's both in and outside your head. It'd be
All
kind
right,
of
so
like
she would.
if
All
someone was
right,
the concept of corruption, it'd be both inside you and outside you because you're not the only thing
all
that can.
right. So she will be inside my memories and outside. Okay,
Yeah.
so does she
It'd be more
like?
like if I may clarify,
Yeah.
sorry, it'd be more like the
Go ahead.
information's in you, not the memory. The memory will only have her in it because she chooses to. She doesn't have to do that at all.
She doesn't have to what?
So the memory hacks doesn't have to involve her being in it. It's the information. Like
Hmm.
you can have
But in this case, she would
information.
be the information, though.
Yeah. I'll just get
Yeah.
some
All right.
this. But the information doesn't. The information hazard doesn't have to be her. It just has to be anything to do with her because that's how a hazard works.
All right. So I'm just gonna say that since she's inside of my mind, right, or it's just the information inside my mind, I'm just gonna argue that she just won't do that because Shazam's memories are just not gonna they're just gonna convince her that she shouldn't do this.
Why? Like, if I was to ask, why would Shazam's memory be doing this?
Because like Shazam's memories are just gonna be like, okay, like this girl is inside of my head. I'm just gonna talk her out into not doing this
How would he know she's in his head?
because his memories are being changed.
So when your memories get changed at the speed of information, which is the speed of your character can process such information, you would only identify they've been changed after they've been changed, and you wouldn't know what the
Yeah.
original were.
Is she changing all of my memories at once or one at a time?
Oh, it can be all of them at once, yes. In fact, it's
Why
not
would
just
she do that in this situation? Like,
efficiency.
why? Yeah.
Efficiency. Why
Okay.
not?
Can you show
It's
her doing that though?
I can do one better. So I can show her rewriting someone's entire memory of an event to include false facts, and then replacing their memories, thinking that they wiped out their own memories when they didn't.
So she did it of a specific event, not their entire memories.
No. It's more than just that. So they did it of all memories involving her, so the person will confidently say to a lie detector and the people observing him that he was not in contact. And if he was in contact, he also came up with the extra lie that he wiped his own memories, which was not the case.
All right, but
I'm going to put
why
a
would she
link
do
to that
that
in
in
there.
this specific situation when she's like you're saying that she wants to kill Shazam though? That's the thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
So
so I think she would just change his like one aspect of his memories to where like what you said before, where she's trying to like get him to think that he's poisoned or whatever. He has to rip his own heart out for him to
that's an
survive.
example. That's an example. That's
Oh,
not like
okay.
I as much as I could say what my character could do, I wouldn't be able to say what my character would do, because when you get in someone's memories, everything's so personalized that I wouldn't be able to assume that.
Okay. So in this situation, from what you've given me, I just don't think like since if we don't have nothing to go by, I don't think she would change all my memories at once. I only think it's gonna be a specific thing. So that's what I'm gonna argue with Shazam. Like it's like notices like that his memory changed. He's gonna be like, whoever messes with my memory, like, can you not do that, please? And he's gonna wanna like he's gonna open up contact with her. He's just gonna like talk her into like not doing this because it's wrong.
So I'm sorry to say this to you, but
hmm
I don't think Shazam can talk to an info hazard.
Oh yeah, he can.
Can you prove that?
Yeah, because you're a character, right? If there's information inside of me, like, are you saying that she has like no will or nothing?
So her will is within the
hmm
information, right? But communicating with
hmm
information and the information being within you are two different things. It's how to describe it. So imagine you had living code, right?
Okay.
Your interactions are any observation of the code and its influence towards you. You don't have a way to influence the code back if it's living code, because anything you do, ugh, I just choked. Oh wait,
Oh, it's okay.
yeah. As I was saying, any interaction you would do would be null and void by the living code itself. It'd be like that.
Not really. I mean, can you provide? Well, wait. Before I make any claims, right? Well, I want to understand this point more. So if
Mhm.
she's like living like a living info hazard, she's living information inside of Shazam's head, right? If one of Shazam's memories, right? It was just like just shouts, right? He's just like, "Yo, can you not do this, right?" So she's not gonna hear that at all. So is that what you're saying? She's not gonna hear that.
No.
Why would she not hear that?
So when she goes in as an info hazard, the main
hmm
objective is to achieve a goal. And because this is at the same processing speed as Shazam, this would be like that'd be yeah, if you ever do a reaction test to something that moves as fast as your reaction, but it starts first, you always come second.
Yeah. So I'm saying she would change his memory, right?
To
And she
what?
would be like, "Okay, you provided an example. Would she not do that example?"
Yeah, so if I was to change the memory and I
hmm
do it faster than you can process, to say that
hmm
Shazam automatically knows the memory's been changed is. So I mean, okay, this is going to be a bit of a shotgun, so bear with me, sorry.
That's fine.
So to assume that Shazam knows the memories change is one assertion. To
Hmm.
know that he could communicate back is another assertion based on his own intelligence. So that needs to be proven there. And the
Hmm.
final bit is along the lines of, if this was said and he was to shout out, how do you know this shout out in his memories isn't something implanted in the first place? There's paradoxical logic on how memories work. Because
Okay, so
any choice
oh,
your
go ahead, my
character
bad.
has, he has no knowledge if that's his choice or put in there.
Okay, so wait, I'm gonna address the dirt one first. It wouldn't be a paradox because one, Shazam is not gonna be thinking of that, right? He's not gonna be like, wait a second, is me doing this is what she's implanting to my head in the first place? Like he's not gonna care about that, right? He's just gonna try and communicate regardless. And for your first one, what you said, trying to remember it. Wait, what was your first one again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. My first one was knowing a memory's been changed in the first place.
Oh, okay. So the Shazam is like, like the battles in New York or whatever, right? And he's been teleported there by SBA, right? And he's just like, obviously he sees nothing, right? He sees nothing. And obviously he just has a new memory in his brain that's like, oh, somebody like somehow, some way, right? A new memory just surfaced that I've never encountered before. And Shazam's already dealt with mind hacks before that have like done this thing. Like it's logical to consume. Oh my god, not consume. To assume that he's gonna be like, okay, there's a new memory in my head. I've dealt with mind hacks before who's tried to implant new memories in my head. I don't think it's illogical to assume that my memory has been changed spontaneously. And because like I don't think that you've proven that she would change all of his memories at one time, then it's not like he would be able to not sense the lapse in his memory.
So, so this is something I should like sort of establish. But when your memory is
Hmm.
being changed by someone who's got the speed of your information, so the speed you process, it's much
Hmm.
more in line with origin manip than it is mind hacks. So like the mind hacks comparison isn't as fair because when you do like origin manip, the whole idea is it's changed your origin. So to say that you could presuppose, well, it's not presuppose, God's sake, pr- like you have prior knowledge on such, even though your origin's been like messed with. It's that sort of loop
Well,
is paradoxical. That's what I meant.
well,
That's
I
what.
would say that I'll go back to what I said earlier that like even if you want to like change the memory hacks max to origin manipulation, he would still be able to see like she's putting like by example, like I know you said like you don't know exactly what she would do, but that's all I have to go off of. Like
Hmm.
she's still like implanting something into his head, and like even if you want to say it's like she's manipulating his origin, there's still going to be a certain contradiction or a certain memory lapse within what she put in compared to what Shazam already has like went through and what he knows. So he would still be able to know that okay,
So
something one
I'm
plus
going
one
to
equals
disagree with
three in this
this.
situation. Hmm.
So sorry to say this, but I
It's fine.
disagree with this because I didn't. I'm going to just provide that example I said earlier because in the end I didn't
Hmm.
post it. So I'll just provide it. And
Okay.
then I'm going to have to go to the wiki because this is on the second page. So this very person who's being interviewed about the hacks, he's the warden who originally got like he was talking about this hack. He was talking saying, "Hey, something fishy is going on here." Wait, did I just post the
Okay.
wrong one? I might be an idiot. I might have posted the wrong one.
All right. So, what are you trying to like prove with this?
So what I'm proving, right, is someone who has prior knowledge, so they have an advantage over Shazam. They also had their memories changed. They are also above average individual because they figured this out first before the entire SCP Foundation. They fell
Hmm.
victim without any reason. So someone who has a much better justification for resisting it was literally the same as everyone else.
Well, I'm not saying that like Shazam would resist it. I'm just saying that he would just be able to simply detect like because like the example that you provided, right, is that she would implant a memory into me, and I'm just saying that it's not that hard to like
Oh
see a
wait, sorry,
contradiction. Hmm.
sorry. Just to clarify, I
Hmm.
said rewrite memory, not
Rewrite. My bad, my bad. Yeah,
no.
so if Shazam like has a rewritten memory, right? It's not that hard to see the contradiction and like the events leading up to this memory, or like just looking at everything from a whole, right? Like why am I like fearing that this poison, or I'm just using your example.
Yeah.
Why am I fearing that this like poison is about to like kill me if I don't work my heart out? When I know earlier that nothing at all that I went through has anything to do with this at all. Like it just makes no sense at all. Why would I like try and do that? And
So
my
this
memory's
is.
getting messed with.
Oh, sorry for interrupting you.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm finished.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, the whole point of me saying it's closer to Origin Manip than it is Mind Hacks. It's still memory hacks, but it's closer to Origin Manip because when you change the memory, you're changing it to go in line with this, so there wouldn't be a contradiction in the first place. Because according to your memory, this is the truth.
So you're saying that she would also change the events that is like leading up to this, correct?
It doesn't even have to be events leading up. This memory could be the very first thing he sees in the fight. Then
Well,
it
I would
wouldn't be a
just say
new memory.
Well, I would just say that it would just be another. Well, she's just like rewriting this, right? Rewriting what he first sees in the fight. Then I would just still say that's a contradiction with his previous memories have shown. Like she's gonna have to rewrite his memories leading up to that if she
Yeah.
wants to like prove that there's no contradiction.
So yeah, as an info hazard, she can rewrite them as the information goes to you.
Yeah, and I'm saying that like, all right, so like I wanted to say this earlier, I kind of forgot. But if she like rewrites his memories, right, where she changes what Shazam like perceives at the beginning of the battle, right? If she were to do that, why would she have like any further incentive to like change more of it?
So there wasn't. If she does change all the memories, that's like her choice, and there isn't any way to stop that. Because I think that's the sort of thing we're going over, whether or not she would change all of them, and whether or not
Yeah,
otherwise it'd be effective. But if she
which I
doesn't
don't think
change,
she would. Go ahead.
sorry,
My bad.
I'm just going over this quickly. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
she doesn't
my bad.
change all of them, she can make all the events leading up to it the same as well, and that wouldn't matter like at which point. Because imagine she changed every time in your head you thought 1 + 1 was 2 to 1 + 1 is 3, and you changed the words 2 and 3 round. Because it happened all consistency throughout, you would have no way of knowing otherwise.
Okay, okay. Well, I would say that she just wouldn't do this at first. She has no
That
incentive to do that.
she does have an incentive in the sense of,
Uh,
well, it's a win. That's the incentive. She knows how to win. This is all she does.
Well, that's the thing, right? You're saying that like she wants to win, but from what you've shown me, right, of her like trying to manipulate like instances up until like what's happening, like I haven't been shown that. So I
So
would just
yeah,
say that like she would
I'm not.
try and like rewrite a memory. Shazam would notice that there's a contradiction or that something happened to him, and then he would speak to her, and obviously she would hear it.
All right. So how about this? What?
Hmm.
So I'm just going to try and say this. So this info hazard was able to mess up members of the O5 Council and SCP. Okay.
Okay.
So one of the well, actually, it's all the O5 members, but it's easier just to mention this one. O5-2 has such a complexity in their brain that they understand every concept in the
Hmm.
verse to the point where they literally gave themselves every concept. No, sorry, that's a lie. They got power over every concept in the verse and power over the tree of knowledge. They'd one shot the Scarlet King. But the point
Okay.
is they have this knowledge, and they too lost like everybody else. It's not like any distinction to say this was an advantage. Prior knowledge, prep time, huge amounts of big brain, none of it affects it. So what I'm like struggling to understand is why Shazam would be able to do it. There's no
All right. So
justification for why he could do it, and in the circumstances, it seems quite paradoxical.
Well, like I said before, it wouldn't be paradoxical, and I would just still mean what I said previously, and
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
I don't want to like like ask you to get a lot of scans, but like how many scans do you have with like the O5, like the specific one you're stating? Like if you don't
Um,
have all of them, that's fine. I'll just take your word for it. I would just like to read some of this if you don't mind, if
yeah,
you do
yeah, yeah.
have it.
Let's see. So hit.
All right.
Well, it's in the entire like they've got their entire like own section, right? But I'm just gonna
Mhm.
link this bit that just straight up says it like verbatim, and it's kind of their entire thing. Their O5-9, the librarian. The whole point is knowledge. That's the
All
whole
right.
point. And the lower the number in the O5 council, the more potent it is, and there's another O5 member with an even better like crazy feat. So I'm using this one as like a warm up.
The tree of knowledge of good and evil. So,
Yeah.
the serpent tree that produces apparently. The serpent made these trees and cursed them. You can only eat from one of them if you've already eaten from the other. I don't know. Or that would be some secret. Some secret. Every piece of knowledge contained here is contained within me. Suggestion laser. Alright, so what kind of knowledge does the tree bring?
So this is you're familiar with the tree of knowledge in SCP, right?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So oh god, this one's gonna be annoying to get. So in SCP, there's
You
something
don't have
called.
to get it. I'll just take your word for it.
All right, cool. So I thought you would have heard it from Chapter Cybercup. That's why. So yeah, ironically. So in the SCP, you got many of these like godlike beings, and pretty much all the gods in creation and everything all relies in this valley beneath a tree. And as you ascend the tree, you're going up this hierarchy of gods, and they all represent like different concepts getting layered on each other. And the tree of knowledge represents the totality of all of it.
The totality of like all of these gods which represent these concepts.
Yeah, it's also like a hierarchy. So
Alright.
it's also like outside creation. So it's like creation's bigger than the multiverse in SCP. You know, there's a lot of stuff.
Alright.
This is like huge brain power.
So from what I'm hearing, right, is that the tree gives like this specific knowledge of like all these gods and these concepts that that they embody that make up this hierarchy of this tree.
Yeah.
I would just say that SCP 3002 wouldn't be included in this, so they would have no knowledge on it.
So the multiverse is in creation. Creation's in the tree as like a lesser aspect.
I thought you said it was. I thought you said the tree was outside of creation, not
No,
that
no.
it held it in.
So no, sorry, that might be my wording there. So you have the valley, which the tree is above, and when I say above, I mean like the valley is literally like the roots of the tree, like it's that sort of.
Okay, so it's like a part of the tree, right?
Yeah, but it's such an
Okay.
infinitesimal part that I'd literally just say it's above it. It's kind of like imagine you had this like little tiny bump on a tree, and you couldn't tell if that was dirt or actually part of the tree. Like that. That's
Okay.
yeah, it's part of the tree, but it's so insignificant.
Is the valley the multiverse?
Yeah, you got the multiverse in there, and then below that you have the universe, and then you have 3002, which by the way,
For a second, my grandma just called me.
all right, sure. I'm just gonna write down the last point to make sure we don't forget it by the time he gets back.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
I wrote the last point in scan zone 1, so it'd be easier for you to remember in case you forgot.
Okay, so the multiverse, which your SCP is in, all gods and concepts. Okay, and
Yeah.
tree of knowledge. Okay, so wait, is there a god for every single concept?
So how to say it? There is a god for every concept and every layer of concepts because they also have a hierarchy.
All right, I would just say that your SCP is just outside of all of this. Then,
So what what is best explained to be is information exists beyond all this type of thing. Information is something that's unbound by concepts and unbound by well, to be fair, information is technically unbound from logic because false information is still information. But essentially, that's like the issue. The issue is because it's information, that's why it's so hard to deal with. And I don't see any reason why Shazam would be.
And I don't think that you're like all of this right here. We're saying that these big brain people. Well, I would just say that like your SCP is just outside of what they could even like what outside of things that they knew about. So of course they had no counter to it at all.
Actually, okay,
So,
now this is something I have to give you because it's very important.
okay.
The whole point of how this SCP beat the O5 is they had a
Mhm.
meeting to discuss what to do with them. So this is
Yeah.
their prior knowledge, and it decided to have basically a majority vote with many of them disagreeing, and because of these disagreements, they were like offing the ones who disagreed because they were infected. So it was strategically doing it to make them off themselves, even though they were
Wait,
all
what prior knowledge did they have of this SCP?
the file.
The file. So they read the file. They're like, okay, so
Yeah,
information hazard. All right, all of this.
yeah. It's essentially
I,
on it.
I
Sorry, I
would
got a
just
phone
say.
call. I got a
Oh,
phone
go
call.
ahead. Go ahead.
My apologies. What were you
That's
saying
fine.
last thing before I had to go?
I would just say that they're called the O5 cancel, right?
Yeah. The O5 Council.
Yeah. I would just say that because of the fact that they actually, I would just say they're dumb. I would just say they're stupid because what it sounds like to me, right, is that the O5 Council are very arrogant because they have all of this knowledge and they obviously view these files and they always feel like, huh, we're so smart, right, guys? Like, there's no way that this could affect us, and we're just gonna like kill you guys. But they were like under this SCP's influence the whole time. So I'll actually say that having prior knowledge about this is actually worse than if you encountered this with like no prior knowledge. Because Shazam's still gonna like see the contradiction in his memories.
So I'm going to ask you a question. And
Mhm.
so I told you the first person who realized it, that same person later got infected, had a whole interview and stuff to prove he wasn't infected, and was like nonsense.
Wait, repeat that? I didn't hear it.
Oh, sorry, I said the first person to realize it, like before the Foundation, he got infected. That's like interview above, and
Okay.
yeah. So I want to ask you, when do you think he got infected?
When he first knew about it, obviously.
So,
Like,
in other
yeah.
words, the entire time, every action he took, there's no proof it was his own action or if it was implanted.
Yeah, but that's his problem, right? Shazam, right? If she's like, this is what she said, right? She was like, like she'll rewrite the scene of him first appearing, because SBA, you're teleported to New York, and you're saying that the instant that he's teleported there, he's going to be infected, and you're saying that, she's going to rewrite his memories of that moment of when he was teleported there,
Yes.
and I'm
And
saying that. Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, so I was just going to say, so if all the knowledge on this character is rewritten, how would you know?
How would he know? Because there's a contradiction in his memories.
To what? What's the contradiction? I don't. Sorry, I'm not
The
saying.
contra- the contradiction is the fact that the things that's leading up to this makes no sense, and you still haven't well, in my opinion, I still don't think you proved why she would like rewrite all of like this specific thing in this event anyway. I think she would only like do what you said, and what's been shown is that she would like do it, like she would mess with the specific thing, right? She would rewrite a specific thing of Shazam, like knowing that there's a poison inside of him that he needs to rip out his own heart, right? And I think she's going to do that because that's always been shown, especially when you're on scans.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, so she wouldn't do what you're saying at first, but she would like manipulate or rewrite the memories that's leading up to this. so Shazam will be able to notice that contradiction.
So no, the point I'm trying to make is when you have an
Mhm.
info hazard, you have no way of knowing what's been changed because you're saying like a contradiction, like there's some sort of mistake. But when I'm using the analogy of it's closer to origin manip than it is normal mind hacks, it's because it's not just the one incident that's changed; it's the lot. It is
All right.
the best way to like
So
represent this. You have no knowledge.
what because you said that like how would he like know because it's it's an info hazard, right? How would he
Yeah,
know that his memories were changed?
yes.
And I'm saying that she wouldn't change. All right, so if we're saying that like he's of course teleported infected, I'm saying that she would like rewrite his memories, right? To whereas like all of a sudden now there's like a poison that he needs to rip out his own heart to recover from. Like that just happened all of a sudden. And I'm saying before he would rewrite anything else, he will be able to not sense the contradiction, but he already tell that it's a contradiction in his memories before
Oh,
he were to ever, before she would ever to like rewrite anything else.
okay. So I think I get what you mean now. So you're saying that
Yeah,
I'm just making it out that this like poison just appeared there, right?
yeah,
Like
just appeared there with like nothing leading up to it.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So this I'm gonna have to go on like the thing to find this, but
All
how
right,
this person gets their interview, that person I mentioned earlier, is essentially they eventually crash the car themselves, and this SCP manipulates them to make them sound like they thought they were got crashed by someone else. So the whole idea is they don't just manipulate events; they manipulate all the events. Because when you're an info hazard, you're in control of everything that comes into contact with you ever.
all right. So this actually only helps my point, right?
Okay.
Because and what you just said is that wait before I like say anything. So you're saying that she manipulated like he crashed in this car, right? Crashed his car, and she made it to where it's like he died, that somebody else crashed into him, right?
She made it sound no. I think in corrections, multiple people, but there was a car crash, and he thought it was because of other people, when it was actually just himself.
All right, so this only helps on point because she's only manipulating that certain event, but she didn't manipulate the things leading up to that certain event.
No, no, she manipulated both.
What do you mean by both? Well, I'll actually just read the file,
Yeah, yeah.
so I get a better answer.
I'll get
Here.
it for you. I'll get the whole file. It's not.
Oh, okay.
I'll get this particular bit because it's split
All
into
right.
4 sections. So I'll get this section for you. Um,
Okay.
uh, just make sure I'm sending you the right section.
All right.
Don't want to be stupid. I think it's the right section. There's only 4 sections. So if it sounds like it's nonsense, then tell me and I'll get the other sections.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happens when I'm speeding through. There you go.
All right. Yeah. I'll go ahead and read this.
Yeah, you can so at the start of the thing it has the item name, object class, containment procedures, which aren't any, emergency update, skip that, description, skip that. You can go straight to what it says after that because they're just
Straight to where
repeating.
it says what? Wait, straight to where it says what?
Oh, so where in bold says incident 302-2.
Okay.
It's like in the middle of the page. They
Where
start.
it says like yeah, where it says like 3 staff members attempted to access, etc.
Yeah.
All
Wait,
right, I got you.
I'm now thinking this is the wrong one. God. Checking that. I'm checking the next one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, that was the prior one.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you are interested, that's the evidence of that person not being infected. He's doing all the interviews. Now in this one, he's infected, even though there's no proof to say he wasn't already infected and playing a part.
She's probably infected from the start.
Yeah, yeah. So here's the thing: if you interview someone who's infected, you just got infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean by
All
like it's
right.
kind of paradoxical for this like whole situation.
I don't wait. after I get finished reading this, I'm gonna need you to like re-explain the paradoxical point because I think there's just something I'm not getting here.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, so yeah, I'll read through this real quickly. Do I read all of this or a specific
Oh,
part?
good. It should be the incident bit. Incident bit where it says, oh no, it doesn't say incident. Sorry, it says addendum 302-4. Approximately 4
Addendum.
months after concluding. Yeah, it's like halfway down. They then have a different thing afterward. The
Oh,
beginning.
I see. I see it.
Yeah.
Addendum's a weird word, so I was just like, oh, I see.
Basically, another way this character shows their intelligence is they were slowly revealing what they could do to the SCP Foundation to, get them to, without their own will, look up this SCP. Because until the final page, they don't even realize this is an info hazard.
Wait, you're saying the person that's interviewed was doing that?
So in the first link, it's them interviewing other people who are infected, and in this
Mm-hmm.
one, it's now them the one who's infected. Dr. Lloyd's the interviewer. So they've changed to a new
Okay.
interviewer and a new victim.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
So so the SCP Foundation is like, okay, we know that that person got infected. We're going to use a new person.
So basically, what that happens is they know some people were infected. They now, if
Mm-hmm.
you read the before they describe the interview, they say the situation where he had strange behavior and sustained injuries in a car crash. And then in the interview, he says, "Oh, people were like driving into me or something like that." And
Okay.
you can clearly tell from the bit above that it's not the case.
Okay. And let me go ahead and read this then.
So, do you want me to explain the paradoxical thing as you read it? You said that earlier.
Oh, nah, because I'm not good at multitasking like that.
Oh, okay. I'll write it down to myself so I can say it afterwards.
Okay. Wait a second. My grandma's calling me. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this. All right, so I got finished reading through it all.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'll discuss what I think about this after you can discuss the paradox thing.
Wait, sorry. Did you say you want to go first on that, or me go first?
Oh no, I said like I'll discuss like what I think about this after you discuss like the paradox thing because I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
very important.
Yeah. So how the paradox thing works is when your memories are rewritten, any action you take afterwards, you have no knowledge if that's the part of the memories being rewritten or not. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you were to have knowledge that someone has the ability to change your memories, and then you realize you have this memory yourself. You don't know how you've got it to be coherent because you don't know why you've got it. You don't know who gave it to you, because if that's the case, you don't know if that's true or not, or if it was implanted. It's the whole idea of the origin of that memory. You have no verification if it's true or not.
Okay. So I'll actually say that this actually helps what I've been saying all this time, because I think you're like overthinking it a bit, Cremus, because you're saying that if this person's memories were changed, like you don't know who gave you this memory, and it's like obviously like not coherent with the rest of your memories. So you're not gonna know like whether it's like true or not. And because of that, right? Because of that, Shazam's gonna be like, oh, I've dealt with mind hacks in the past. Now, like I have the experience to know that my mind has just been messed up with. So he's going to know. But
Yeah,
we can leave that specific part to the judges. Oh, you
yeah,
can respond. Yeah.
yeah. I did a quick response.
Yeah.
So you're saying it through discrepancies. What I'm saying is there's a paradox in logic of any like future action. You have no like knowledge. This is like not something that's been pre-made for you to do. Like so you
Okay.
mentioned just to quickly give an example, because
Okay.
like
That's fine.
you want to say your bit. You said Shazam might shout out stop. How does he know that she didn't ask him to do that?
I would say that he's not gonna even be thinking about stuff like that. Like he's not gonna be thinking about, wait a second, how do I not know that she's the one who's implanting that memory in my head to say stop in the first? No, she's not. Look, right? 9 times out of 10, a lot of people aren't thinking this complicated, right? Billy is not this type of person who digs real deep into it, right? He's not that type of person at all. He's gonna like see a memory in his head, and he's gonna be like, oh, my memory just changed. Like, let me just tell this person to stop or chill out or whatever, right? And convince them that this is wrong, right? And that's all he's going to do. He's not going to be like, He's not going to be like no light Yagami, right? Where he's like, But was this like all part of their plan to then and like falsely implant a memory into me to where I would say stop when in actuality, like no, like that's not his character.
He can
But
make
we
it.
can go. I mean, I don't think that you've like demonstrated that she would do that. But we can go ahead and like move on to
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. All right. So the thing that like I think about this is that I see what you're talking about. Where it says that White was like, "Oh, I would rather not say my vehicle collision was not an accident, despite security footage showing otherwise. I was pressured off the road by the sudden acts of three otherwise unrelated vehicles working in tandem." When we clearly know that like he just got into an accident, and with security cameras literally saw them. That's not what happened at all.
Yeah.
So I would just say right here in the instance of Whiteley that this specific event of these cars and him crashing, that was changed, right? But I would say that the events that lead up to it, right? The events before the crash were not changed at all, which is a contradiction within his own memories. That if he looked closely at, he would be like, wait a second, right? In my events of me driving here, right, I didn't see no three cars at all. But the events of the crash, there's just randomly three cars here. He's just working in tandem now. Like it makes no sense.
No, so here's one
Hmm.
thing. Because we know he was a previous interviewer, to say that he hasn't like gone through this in that same interview, it does go over the fact that he was a previous interviewer, and in fact, he thought
Hmm.
in case he was infected, he actually wiped his own memories and stuff too. So that
Yeah.
he isn't dumb by any means, and this
Well,
dude's
that didn't.
acceptable.
Well, I would just say like that didn't really counter what I'm saying. I'm saying that like he can suspect that he was infected, right? And he took the countermeasures to wipe his own memory just in case. But the fact that he still did not look into his own memories and like reviewed them essentially showed that there's a flaw in his plans, right? He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna wipe my memory, and that would be that." When he should have actually been like, "Wait a second, let me actually review what happened very closely instead of like trying to wipe my memory." And that was his downfall because he didn't do that.
So
So yeah, I
so
think
when
we wait real quick. Like after this, like we can like either move on to conclusions, or if you have anything else you want to like add on to this, we can do that.
Yeah. So I know this is quite long. Sorry for everyone else, but when when you know how he says, "Oh, he went and wiped his own memories just in case."
Hmm.
So that's coming from him, right?
That's right.
So you have no idea if that's true or not.
Wait, repeat that. I didn't hear it.
So in his memories, he's
Hmm.
saying he wiped his memories. How do we
That's
know that's
correct.
true?
How do you know that's true?
Yes. How do we
Well,
know that's true?
obviously, I would just say that whatever this guy is saying right here would inherently be untrustworthy.
So one thing that you have to note about is when something like these actions are taken, someone wipes their memory, someone in the Foundation literally does anything, it's all monitored, hence they were caught on
That's right.
CCTV. So if they were to tell such an obvious lie, they get caught out. The way they were
Okay.
caught out here was the last bit in the paragraph. If you noticed, he got
Yeah, that's
aggravated
right.
when he mentioned something about her.
Yeah, he was just like, "Oh yeah, like I think you've been infected, and I think you've been like doing this stuff,
Yeah,
and you're
so
just withholding." Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just saying that like because you don't know what memories are true and false, there isn't a way to fight back because you don't know what's you and what's them. That's like the whole like issue
Well,
with
I would just argue, right, is that if he's like, well, one, wait, how we know that the SCP in this like specific instance is like doing this in the first place, like making to us like he's not remembering the fact that he wiped his own memory. Because like you said before, the SCP Foundation is monitored, right? And I feel like if he were to like lie about wiping his own memories, they would have called it out, but he didn't.
yeah. So my point is that there is no way from this story of telling otherwise, and it's kind of like a poetic narrative because you have to take it for granted that anything a character says who's infected and an interviewer says, you have no idea if it's true or false.
I
Because remember,
actually would
the
disagree with that.
interviewer is also infected by bringing up the subject.
I would actually like disagree with that because whether they're infected or not doesn't change the fact that they can first of all, like I said before, like we don't know for certain about what the SCP is even like changing within their minds. Second of all, like you said before, we've already have monitors that are already watching the SCP Foundation. They
Yes.
can easily, if they, yeah. So, for example, right, if somebody like wiped their memories, they can easily just see that, okay, he wiped his memories. He's telling the truth here. But in this specific instance, right, when he was bringing up the fact that he was like digging in files and stuff, he was just like, wait a second, like hold on, like hold up, like that's pretty sus if I have to say so myself, right?
Yeah.
You're saying that we
So
have no way of finding out the truth, but the truth is within the evidence that they can bring forth.
but so that was what I mentioned. What's today? That's what I was mentioning with the interviewers, because the interviewers taking part in this interview is also infected. So
Hmm.
any rebuttal they have could have been pre-planned. This could all be a pre-planned conversation, and the emotional outburst is what they have to say. Okay, now you've got to go off. You're not used for me anymore.
Well, you can say that, but I don't think you've demonstrated that this SCP is dinking like that or has done something like that, other than the
I
O5
can.
Council, stuff
Actually,
with the
I
O5 Council.
so I've got two links in there already for the SCP profile. So I'm now
Hmm.
going to go to the next one.
All right.
Um,
Wait, let me like and even then, I think the O5 Council is a different case than this council, not than this interview as well.
Yeah, so this is sorry, I just want to say this is offset 3,
Okay.
and this is oh wait, no. Is this the last one? No, yes. No, I don't
Hmm?
know. My is it wait, have I sent you the last one? Wait,
I'm
when
not
did you just
sure.
as at the top? Oh yeah, I guess this one is. So the point of all these like offsets is this character is so intelligent, they bait them with false information because they know that if they don't think a certain thing's dangerous, they will explore that aspect and willingly risk themselves to get like infected. That's how it spreads to all of them. That's how it
Yeah.
gets so high. It's playing a game of chess where you don't know what the pieces do till they show you
Okay.
them, and
Well, I was.
their
Oh,
assumptions
my
are
bad.
messing them up.
All right. So I would just say like in this, you can't like wait. So you're saying like she knew about this person, right? She had to play her cards carefully, correct?
Yeah, she. In fact, every play
All
she
right.
done carefully and correct.
All right. So I would just say that she has no prior knowledge of Shazam, so there's no reason for her to act in the same way.
Well, because she's like that throughout the entire profile, there's no reason to assume otherwise.
Actually, there is because you have no way of assuming. Why would she act like this in this situation when she's never
You okay now,
had
Isaac?
no? Huh?
Okay, he cut
What
out.
you say? Hello?
Oh wait, was that me? Wait.
Wait. Oh. Okay. Hello? Grimace? Okay, his connection died. All right.
Sorry about that. I thought your
Oh, it's fine.
it was my connection.
Oh no, like I was confused because you said Nyotic. Are you all right? Now it's just like, oh, did I sound like angry or like annoyed? Like I didn't
No,
mean to.
no, it's not. What did I say?
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
were saying that like she acts like this, like with these like foundation members and with this person, etc. And that's
Oh,
how we
yeah.
know for her to act. Yeah.
So
And my
my
counter
last
was,
my last point before I was cut out was
oh,
so
okay.
you said there's no evidence to prove that she would be like this with Shazam, and I said there's no evidence otherwise because she's like this throughout the entire story. That's the entire
All right. And I would say that, well, if you can't like prove how she would act towards a person that she has no knowledge about, you can't say what she's been doing this entire time is valid to her character. That's not what her character has been shown to do, and we have no examples of what she would do. Which
Okay.
actually like goes back to my first point that I made that I don't think she would change the events that's leading up into this, but she would like try and change just one specific part.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna get you the description of what I said earlier, because
Okay.
so in part of this character's origin, right? What happened was
Hmm.
is they had the ability to memory map, and then what happens is they are tried to be used by the Foundation, and they are used to the point where they just die, like from suicide. And what
Okay.
happens after that is their information exists onwards and becomes the info hazard, but they have no memory of why. So they have to also discover this as they do everything. That's why it's a game of chess, because they've got to both uncover the truth while also,
So you're
going.
saying that like this girl, wait, her name is Lily, right? Because I don't want to say SCP Drowsing too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So you're saying that Lily was also having to like discover and like play this game of chess along the way. It's not like she knew everything in the future, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So what in the world? Wait a second.
Mm. Man, we've been at it so long now, and Nyotic hasn't got a turn so far. That's not good. He needs a turn.
Wait a second. Give me a second. Oh my.
Okay.
All right. I'm
Uh,
back. My bad.
Yeah, you were saying something then. So,
Okay, so um, my bad. I was saying that she would wait. Can you just like tell me your analogy again? Because like it's in like shambles right now. Not analogy, your example or whatever
oh,
happened.
I was saying that she lost all her memories and had to get them back through the story. So she was both getting her memories back while also doing all this. So in character, this is like for her to do it, like from fresh to start.
Well,
And by do it, I mean like act in this very clever way because we're talking about like playing like chess with memories and stuff like that. And that's how
oh,
she like overcomes the O5 Council and builds her way up.
I had a counter just, but I don't forgot it now. It was basically saying that like, wait, as the story went along, right, she had no memories of herself, right?
So when she starts using this stuff as an info hazard, she has no memories of herself. No,
All right, that's fine, but she still has information about the people who work at the foundation, so that's fine.
actually, she doesn't. So she infects a bunch of people. It's in the first profile. I'll just relink it. If
Okay,
actually, no, I'll make it easier. I'll link the description of the first profile because it tells you what she's doing too.
okay.
Um, so I think this is the first one. What's she doing? She's asking the people who did know, which were random prisoners, like they were the first people infected. They asked, hey, "What do you know who I am?" And she'd ask them as like a child in their memories, and they'd always say, "No, we already know what you're telling us." Essentially, um, yeah. So it's kind of if you look at the middle paragraph where it says, "By the name Lily," I can't pronounce the surname. There with SCP 3002-1. Occasionally, the subject will recall Lily sitting on a bench near them asking specific questions. So they're asking it to people who aren't even part of the Foundation. And then what happens is someone catches on to this, tells the Foundation, and she's able to spread through like that. By concealing information, she's able to play a game of chess and make her way up.
All right, now I'm getting the overall thing that you're saying.
Yeah. It's very complicated because till the end of the story, you don't even get the full picture. Because you yourself are technically, as a reader, also going through this process.
Are you saying, wait, does she ever like regain her memories back at the end?
Well, she finds out because the O5 Council know. So when she infects
All
them,
right.
she can go through their memories and know all of it. That's why she really starts just offing them by them making themselves off each other. She's like, "Oh,
All
you
right.
made me commit suicide? Okay."
Okay. Wait, what does she do? What does she like what's the story after she kills the O5?
That's how the story ends. Because actually, no, I should clarify. The
Mm-hmm.
votes end with only two members, and the O5 vote one for each way, and the vote was whether or not they reset the world. So that's inconclusive if they reset the world, and we don't know if majority vote for yes or no wins. It's literally a case where the results literally in Lily's favor. She can decide. They don't.
Ah, okay. And like when she infected these members, right? Like, like that was when like her childhood was like unlocked and she knew everything, right?
That's when she knows everything they know. I wouldn't even say that she got all her memories back because they won't know whether or not she likes candy over chocolate bars. They won't know that type of stuff. Just the stuff that
This is
caused
stuff
the
that's in
whole.
the file, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because all right. This makes a lot more sense because like so you're saying all right, so in those interviews and stuff, right? She was obviously like within the obviously like within the interviewers and the interviewees, right? But she didn't have access to like the files that was like
Yeah.
stating what she was, right?
Yeah, so she was escalating to make other people get involved and get their knowledge. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And now that she has, all right, so
Now that she has all she needs, she just opts them because she doesn't want them anymore.
all right. So
I
why
mean,
would
you
she kill
could.
Shazam then? Like using this method?
So, one, this was a battle. So, like, just to clarify, standard battle assumptions, we kind of need to. Also, then when you think about the workers, like, and the prison inmates, they didn't do anything wrong. Okay, the prison inmates did.
Yeah,
But
I was about to say like you cannot say no. Like, look, if you're a prison inmate in SCP, you know you've done something wrong.
Okay, that's true, yeah. But that's not what I meant. I meant like they didn't, or like the okay. Let's use the warden, the first interviewer. He didn't do anything wrong.
And
So
he still died.
yeah, he dies because So what happens is he does the first lot of interviews. He then gets interviewed himself after the car crash, so he's in pain. And after that, because he had that emotional outbreak and she wanted to be concealed, died. She gets other control people
Okay.
to kill him. So
So,
I think she's quite heartless. No offense to her. She's been through a rough time, but she's quite heartless.
well, I was just saying that specific situation, right? Like, she killed him because she obviously didn't want to be, like, revealed. But why would she, like, in SBS, like, you're in character, but you're willing to kill. Like, but why would she, like, want to kill? That's what I'm asking. Shazam's not
Well,
wanting to kill her or bring any malice towards her. He just wants to convince her that, don't take over my memories, please. Like,
um,
please don't do it.
wasn't your premise that your character's going to use all his like magical abilities to win this battle?
Yeah, and I would say that his magical abilities include his social influencing skills.
Ooh, that's interesting. So
Heck yeah.
so that's interesting. So that would go back to because the like first impression for this battle would be it's a battle that I'd actually say that she falls victim to lacking knowledge on your character, and then it will happen like GG because like
Yeah, so she.
her own lack of knowledge will cause her to kill Shazam.
Well, I would just say that she actually technically wouldn't have a lack of knowledge because if she infects Shazam's memory, she's gonna know everything about Shazam. And Shazam is literally like he's like you know how like the Devil Beam didn't work on Goku because he's pure of heart.
Yeah,
Shazam, like when Naruto tried taking his soul, he he literally like got nagged by it because he was like, dude, Shazam's soul is just so pure that I can like send scans of it too. But he was like, his
I
soul
actually
is
know the
so
story. I actually know the
yeah.
story.
He was like, his soul is so pure, I can't absorb it, and that's why I did the Underworld Unleashed event in the first place, so I could corrupt Shazam and turn him into a bad person. But it literally didn't work because Shazam's just too pure.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would just say
I
that,
know the
yeah,
story. Don't worry about it.
yeah. So
Um,
I would be like, upon infecting Shazam, she's gonna like, well, dude, like this person, he doesn't want to hurt me, and his soul is just like incredibly pure. He's a pure and noble person. Why would I want to kill
so I've now just mentioned this other thing that so there are other ways
him?
to win a battle without killing. So you can just make Shazam forfeit.
Forfeit? Well, I would just say that he would make her forfeit. He's gonna be like she's gonna be in his memories, right? And she's gonna be like, dude, like I don't want to do nothing. Well, yeah, she's gonna be like, I don't want to do nothing to him. Like I have no reason to hurt this person. Why would I mess with him when he's literally the best person on earth?
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is right,
Hmm.
because of the social influencing, it changes her mind about wanting to kill, and then
Yeah.
after which, the motive to win doesn't disappear. It's just how you do it, and how she would do it would be on the lines of "You're pure of heart. I don't want to hurt you." Right? Just
Look. Shazam, he's gonna work his magic, because I'll tell you like a quick instance of his like social influencing working. I totally forgot to say this. Um, standard battle descriptions. So there's a specific storyline, right? You know how like in real life, when this like people they kill frogs and like humanity has been like polluting waters and frogs have been dying for like who knows how long.
um, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that story. Sorry, no.
Oh, yeah, but basically, like, yeah, I'm talking about just like in real life in general, like how like frogs are just being massacred a lot these days, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of that.
All right, so so basically, like, I know this is like a weird, really weird story, and I'll show the scan of it as well. But basically, this frog queen was just like, dude, I'm going to war with humanity because you've been killing my brethren without reason for who knows how long. and I don't like this, right? Like every single day, like I can literally feel my frog brethren die, and it's not fair to me, especially when you don't even have a good reason for it in the first place. I'm going to like just go to war with humanity and kill you all. In Shazam, it stated, and this is where like why I say his social influencing is magic. But it stated, let me actually get this again.
Well, I
Um,
was actually going to say, isn't his social influencing literally like part of his God of Wisdom power? That's part of it.
yeah,
Yeah, so you don't need to prove he has social influencing. That's literally like part of his character. That's kind of stupid to say otherwise.
all right, yeah,
Just
but yeah,
prove the
so
example. Just prove the example to make it like.
yeah, I'll give the example. But yeah, it was stated by he literally got her to chill out. Um, the patience, like he literally got her to chill out, and it's like you know what, I'm gonna chill out. I won't rage war on humanity. Like I concede the battle. Like let's all be friends, right? That's in the
Um,
That's not exactly what happened. It's like in the British version, of course. I'll post the scan right now.
yeah, but as you do that, I just want to say
Hmm.
the social influencing to be good doesn't stop her making Shazam forfeit because
Well, I'm gonna go ahead. My bad.
yeah, so I was just gonna say because a neutral outcome can be the forfeit and knowing that he's the better man for doing it. So she can morally she can lose, but in the events of like the fight, like if this was a boxing ring and he gets Shazam to forfeit, even though she'd be like the littler person socially.
Hmm. All
Because
right. So,
I'd also
oh my bad.
argue a child girl who's been forced to commit suicide and go on a manhunt through a foundation to throw memories back. Probably, like just guessing off this, um, I'd probably say after the social influencing, the desire to win doesn't go away. It just changes how you do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you finished? So I don't enter. All right, you are.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm
I
fine.
yeah, I would say that like I posted this game by the way. So I would just say that like Shazam, like he's not gonna like he can be the bigger man in another way, which is like showing that look, there's another way to do this. This isn't right. I know you've been hurt in the past. I know you've hurt people in the past, but this is not the way. Like please, like give up. Please, like don't do this. Like let's just be friends. Because look, if he can like convince a murderous fraud queen, right, who went to war with humanity and wanted to eradicate humanity to chill out, I'm pretty confident he can also do it against a little girl as well.
To be fair, this little girl's been through a lot more. No offense, but I'd also like.
Nah.
I'd also like to just say, remember, this is like the point is when she goes through the memories, she sees the social influencing of the past, and therefore like changes her mind how she wins. That's like the point here right now. But um, the thing I just want to say is, because of that, the chance to social influence before she changes the memory to, hey, why didn't you stop? Instead of, hey, you've changed my memory now. I'll like forfeit. One of those actions happens before the other, like the passive info hazard will take place before he gets a chance to speak.
I would say that she would actually feel like she wants to converse with him instead of looking at his memories. It will make a lot more sense to want to talk to this person than like looking at their memories. You're gonna be like, man, like kind of want to talk to this person now because they're such pure of heart and like how it is. Like,
So
yeah.
um so one of the O5 members, O5-1. Now it's unclear which O5-1 there is because there's two, but they both have an incredibly noble story. They want
Hmm.
to they want to kill the administrator because he's actually responsible for every single thing in SCP. And both of them, one by one, find out how stupidly impossible this is, and thus they become O5-1. They
So they
become the
like
leader of
fuse.
the O5s, and they have the most tragic story ever. She didn't care, she offed them.
Wait, did they fuse?
No, because so before you reach the administrator, you've got to go through the O5. So the new O5-1 literally went through the
Oh,
entire process the first one did and found the exact same victim because it's
all
a
right.
story in SCP, so he had control over it anyway.
I would actually say that they're actually dicks because they want to like rewrite the Earth,
Well,
which
no,
is obviously not a
they
cool
were just
thing to
getting rid
do.
of all the anomalies because they knew the administrator was responsible for it. It wasn't every person; it was the anomalies. That was a misconception by me. My apologies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's still pretty bad. Still pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, like
So I would say that she was just like, dude, you're out here trying to like wipe out all these people who have this anomaly. Like, that's not cool. Like, that's not cool. I'm just gonna have to like off you. Like, they're not pure. Like, they did noble things, right? And but that doesn't excuse the fact that they were going to like just wipe out these people who had this anomaly.
you,
Shazam, he's pure of heart. He's not gonna do something like that.
you think there's a possibility of you should say, "Yo, 682, you should live."
Oh wait, but you mean I thought you meant the people who were infected by Lily.
No, I'm talking about so when they say they want to stop every anomaly in the Foundation, the O5 members, that's part of a different story to go over. Like I'm trying to justify their characters being noble.
Oh no, I thought you
Yeah,
were talking about the story where Lily infected them. They wanted to reach a vote where they were gonna
yeah,
like wipe out and restart the Earth, basically.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was referring to.
Yeah. So that's part of the story. But I'm saying that their characters aren't shown in that story. So I have to reference another story to show what their characters are. And then I said there
I would
were
say that
ones. And
the fact that they just wanted to wipe out the Earth is just horrible.
when they're wiping out all the anomalies, which like 682 probably massacre Earth a lot more than they ever have.
I mean, 682 is redeemable though. That's the thing.
He honestly isn't. I'm sorry.
I mean, look, when you get his brother, he's
One moment,
redeemable,
sorry.
right?
One moment.
All right.
Hello.
My apologies.
Kermis went to do something.
I just came back. Sorry.
All right. So I would say that like even then like every anomaly isn't even like a bad isn't even bad at heart, right? And that's just how it is. Like there are some anomalies like the jelly, like the squishy jelly thing, right? 682's brother, like the son of the Scarlet King, who is like literally the most noble and pure thing in the SCP Foundation, but they still want to wipe that out because it's an anomaly. An
I mean,
anomaly.
if you wipe out the cause of all anomalies, you could also decide which anomalies remain and which don't. So, like wiping
Were
out
they going
the
to do
cause.
that?
Well, okay. So wiping out the cause doesn't stop the anomaly from existing in the first place, but now that's already here. It's like wiping out the cause of an infection doesn't get rid of the symptoms automatically. You have to wait for them to die down or adjust it accordingly.
Wait, I'm a little confused. Are you saying that they will wipe out all of the anomalies or wipe out the source of the anomaly?
So the administrator is the source. You get rid of him, and there won't be any new anomalies. And
Oh,
then
there
you
won't be any
can
new ones. Okay.
yeah. Because the administrator, when I say he represents SCP, he represents a lot, all of it. He is the foundation.
So,
He is
so
the,
he's the most powerful person in SCP.
in my opinion, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
He has narrative origin manip of every character in the verse.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, you're saying they're like, okay, let's get rid of the source of everything in the verse, right? There won't be anything new at all, right?
There won't be any new anomalies. No.
All right. So what were they going to do with the other SCPs that already exist?
So that part's unlike that part isn't quantifiable because that is trying to give an explanation, an in-depth explanation for 6,000 plus things, which they are not doing. I'm sorry, I don't care how much of a writer you are, you don't have the sanity for that. So I'm just going to appeal to reality and say, no, that's not going to happen.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Um, I would just say, right, that even though obviously these guys have a tragic, noble backstory, right? I would just say that they still don't compare to Shazam. I can bring up like things Shazam has done that these guys just don't compare to in terms of like nobility and pureness, honestly. But like I said before, like he stopped the massacre of all these frogs, like saved the lives of them, while convincing that there's a better way. Superman himself like considers Shazam to be equal to him in terms of just like how much of a hero he is. And I can go over what Superman has done in his life. Like Superman is this mega chat, like in terms of like how pure he is and like how much of a like kind hearted person he is. and he considers Shazam equal to him. But I can show that scan.
To be
Like,
fair,
there's just a lot of things he's done.
right? That could be Superman being noble and pure, saying Shazam's equal to him.
Nah, it's because like so after this instance, right, where like he stopped all these frogs from like waging war against humanity. Superman was just like, you know what, Shazam? All this time I've underestimated you. I thought you were just like a young boy with a magic word and a big heart who just tried to do the right thing. But now I can see that you're a lot more than that, a lot more than I give you credit for. And he was like, I am honored to fight side by side with you, and I consider us equals in every way possible. That's what he said. Not verbatim, right? I paraphrased a little bit, but that's
I
what
think I know what
Superman
you're
said.
talking about. Wasn't that after they like fused in one comic, and then he got
Yeah,
to know?
that was
Yeah,
after he
I actually
fused
know
and
that.
like yeah.
I know that one. Yeah,
Huh?
I know
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so Superman wasn't just gassing this man up. He genuinely felt like that. He was genuinely like, bro, I am honored to like fight side by side by you, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we can go ahead and
So,
move on to conclusions if you want to.
can I just make one last point? I don't mean to
All
be
right.
fake. But let's like one
No,
last
it's
point.
fine.
But so in the example of like convincing the frogs to stand down and like not wage war, right?
hmm
The only conclusion after starting a war is for them to surrender because you can't like have a neutral ground because they've already declared war. Um,
hmm
in this circumstance of the battle, you can have the neutral outcome by making Shazam forfeit. That is the neutral outcome in this example.
All right. Well,
So
I'll just still
that's
mean
my
what I
last
said.
point. You
Oh,
can
go
go.
ahead. Yeah, I'll just still mean what I said before that Shazam would just like he wouldn't forfeit himself, but he would just get her to forfeit and just see like the error of her ways and like see that there's just a better way of doing things, and she would naturally just want to, like she would have no will to fight by then. But we can go ahead and move on to conclusions.
Yeah, yeah. Would you like to go first because you went first before? Would you prefer me
Yeah,
going?
yeah, I'll go first before.
Alright.
So in conclusion, I think I won this debate because not only was I successfully able to like prove that she wouldn't like mess with his memories and like in this specific way, she like Billy would be able to find a contradiction and talk to her. If she wasn't for some reason able to like, not be socially influenced and Billy would just like talk to her directly and get her to stop. Or she would view Shazam's memories, see how noble and pure he is, but want to talk to him, and like Shazam would just use his social influencing skills to make her stand down and like basically just like win the battle that way, not by beating her in a fight, but like beating her with his words and how kind he is. So that's my conclusion.
All right. So my conclusion is that with the initial point of whether or not this could work in the first place, whether or not being infected and such, that point I bring up the complexity of like the O5 Council and other characters' prior knowledge and other such examples. Nyotic used the example of like resisting mind hacks, which I already agree with. He can obviously do that, but I didn't think it qualified as potent like acknowledgement of this hacks and like resistance of it. Because of such, we moved on to the other point of his nobility and his memories and whether or not that could social influence. I agreed on the social influencing, but disagreed on how it would change it. And I believe that my character can get the neutral outcome by getting Shazam to forfeit. And I don't see why another outcome is justifiable, considering the like you can get the neutral outcome from winning anyway. I don't see the logic of otherwise. So yeah, that'd be my conclusion.
Thank you all for watching. Comment down below who you think won. Check out Nyotic the Heroes channel, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.